Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome back to episode 13 of City Skylines. The city's not doing too badly at the moment. It's not making a huge amount of population per week, but the money coming in is certainly good. And what I'm going to be doing on this episode mainly is a little bit of housekeeping and sorting out some problems, especially this awful road junction thing here that hasn't worked nearly as well as it should have. Because let's face it, the entire thing is just a complete mess. It is an absolute monstrosity that we want to try and get rid of because it just upsets me. So we'll be doing quite a bit of that pause. There's a couple of other things I'd like to do. I'd like to try and experiment with building a rail line maybe up into the industrial area and see if we can supply the industrial via rail. We're also going to try and experiment with a few pedestrian footpaths as well and potentially give the way for people to get to work without necessarily needing to use a vehicle. And at this point the developers have actually acknowledged that the traffic AI isn't as good as it should be. They generally don't tend to use multiple lanes if there's more than one lane available. So you often find that you do get traffic queuing all in one lane. So what we're going to try and do is remove this traffic island here. And we want to try and build something similar to this sort of cloverleaf system, basically. That should keep all of the engineers watching happy. Now, we don't actually have a highway that's going to be running down. It's going to be of a similar configuration, but obviously without the highway here, this will just be a 6-lane road. But it should still work the same way. I mean, look at this here. It is absolutely terrible. So let's go ahead and do this with the game paused because it will just be a lot easier. We're going to go ahead and take away the well, pretty much all of these road junctions, and in fact I think I'm even going to take away these little junctions that are here. We may connect these back up later on, or we may not. I haven't decided about that yet, but we're definitely going to take them out for the time being. So let's get rid of that. This being a... Now, is this a two-way street or a one-way street? This is one-way only onto the motorway. I don't think that is a terrible idea. We can certainly leave that there. This has to go. All of this has to go. This has to go. And these have to go here. And we can see we've got a lot of flying traffic. If we unpause the game, they'll just sort of disappear or snap back onto the road or whatever. Let's go ahead and get rid of this as well. So it should be relatively simple to connect these up the way that we want to. All we really need to do is extend this road here, which is a 6-lane road with trees. So let's go ahead and build ourselves a 6-lane road with trees and connect it from there over to here. Now, assuming that all joins up nicely, which it doesn't, or has it? Yes, it has. That's all joined up now. Just make sure that hasn't given us some sort of... was that not a 6-lane road? Were we only using a 4-lane road there? Yeah, apparently we were only using a 4-lane road. Do we need to have a 6-lane road? Probably not. Let's just continue with the 4-lane road then. My mistake, I thought it was a 6-lane road. It's just a 4. Now, the good thing is, if you actually delete something soon after you build it in terms of game time, which is instantly in this case because we've got it paused, you get the cost of it refunded, which is quite nice. So, if we just have a look down here and use this other one for a reference, what we basically need to have is the slip roads connecting each side to... Now, that's an on-ramp for each one. And an off-ramp. So this is almost exactly the same configuration, except we're using a 4-lane road instead of 2 highway roads. So this one is going to need to be an off-ramp onto this one. And this one, looking at it, is the on-ramp. So let's go ahead and see if we can do those. We may not get the angles quite the same. I can't even find the thing now. It's over here. So let's go ahead and use our on-ramps and off-ramps. Let's zoom in a little bit. So what we want here, we're probably going to have to use the curved roads for this. So we're going to come off from about here, if we can. Probably go off in that direction. And then... Don't necessarily know if it needs to be curved quite this much. Can we lower it down there a little? Yes, we can. So if we go there, and then... Just trying to make sure we can get the right sort of of curve here. It's going to be ugly. In fact, actually, on the pre-built ones, do we have one of those here? We do. We could potentially just drop this in place and delete or change the roads. But no, I think I'll stick with it as it is and just try and do it manually. That's not the neatest of roads, I'll grant you that. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. Can we get some of this traffic to despawn just so I can see what I'm doing? Makes life a little bit easier. So again, we're going to go with the curved roads. We are going to come off in this direction. And we are going to curve down and out towards this road. Well, we're going to try... I'm just still trying to get the angles right. Try and get it to match. So we come out and turn quite steeply down. Yeah, okay. It's never going to be perfect, especially if I'm doing it. So, let's try that again. We'll ignore these roads for now. We'll sort those out later. So, we come off. We come out here just a little. Sort of like this, maybe. We can go down one. And sort of bend that in. And then we sort of try and do that. That's pretty spot on, actually. That's about as good as we're going to get. Now, this one has to be an off-ramp. So we need to make this distance between here and here about the same on this side, which is about there. And we need to try and replicate, if we can, a similar sort of shape on this side. We are going to have to go up one in height, of course. So we can get that to about... yeah, about there seems fair. And then... bring that one in. Now, it's not quite symmetrical. I'll concede to that. Maybe this road here isn't quite as sharp as it could be. I'm not going to spend too long trying to get it perfect because I know that I'm never going to get it anywhere near perfect. But I do want to try and make it a little less derpy if I can. So bring it around there. And I've already gone and stuffed up because I forgot to raise the height. It's just going to be one of those days, let's just face it. So we'll go out to there. Bring it forwards. We'll bring it up one with page up so we can get to about there. And then our next piece of road. That's about as good as I'm going to get it. It's not ugly. It's not pretty. It's very ugly, but it's functional. It's doing what it should be. So that's the on-ramp and the off-ramp. Then if we look down here, we have the same thing. This one is an off-ramp, and then this one goes back on to the main road. So we have to go off here. So again, it's going to be the same thing. We're going to connect up around about there. Going to come out to about here and curve it in slightly. Going page up just so that we can get the curve in. And then the second bit of road is going to sort of curve back on to here itself. It should allow us to join up. Now, obviously, we're left-hand traffic, which means traffic coming off this way will be going left. We need to turn in quite steeply. We may have built that a little too close. Yeah, we may have to just rejig this connection here. Let's go ahead and just try that again. So we're going to come from here. We are going to build it out this way, sort of. And we'll turn it in quite a bit, actually. No, let's, what are we doing? We're coming off in this direction. So let's move out over here. And then we're going to have to turn in sort of quite steep. So we're going to move out over here. We're going to page up just so we can get the height. And then we're going to build what will be a quite steep sort of turning that will come back on itself. Ugly, I grant you. But it should work. Now, that's actually gone ahead and caused a junction with traffic lights. In fact, this has actually caused a junction with traffic lights, which it shouldn't really be doing. I suppose it's because it's not a highway. So we are still going to have a junction here, which is a problem, because traffic can come from this road and turn left. Ah, so that is our major issue here. And that is an issue that I do not like. Okay, right. So, this actually gives us the perfect opportunity to sort this out completely. What we are going to do is we're going to get rid of all of this. We are going to get rid of Do I want to get rid of that bit there for now? Yes, let's try and keep this little residential area separate from everything else. I'll leave those roads there, and in fact what I will do is I will just take a simple road and just connect these two streets up. Let's do it with a straight road tool. What have we got here? That's a park. If we just come out a little, maybe to about there, and just connect those up, just so that we've still got something there. Alright, now what we're going to do. We are going to destroy pretty much all of this road here, because it's just a colossal pain in the arse at the moment. Let's get rid of all of that. Fantastic. Lots of traffic just floating around. That will be fine. It'll all just float down and find its way back to the highway one way or another. We are going to take out a big chunk of this highway. Don't worry, we can do that, and we can put it back in when we have finished. It's not a problem. Delete the initial connecting highway. And then we're going to use one of these pre-built ones. This one. And we're going to try and fit it in the right spot. Now, this is where we want it to go. Can I get that to change around? Oh, I can rotate it with the right mouse button. Still need to delete more of the original highway, it looks like. So let's go ahead and take back massive chunks of it. We'll get rid of as much of it as we can safely get rid of to try and fit this in. Now, that does seem to fit in there more or less. Saying space already occupied. I think it's just because of these tracks here. Let's get rid of that one, get rid of that one. Right, that's as much as we can get rid of. So, let's rotate it around. Let's move my camera a little bit so it can get it in sort of the right spot. And it's going to go in here, I think. Might not line up exactly with the existing roads, but we will see what we can do about that. Let's go ahead and just get rid of that tool. Because these roads here are actually closer together. If you actually look, there was no way we were going to get it to line up perfectly. So that is fine. So let's go ahead and go back to our highways tool. And we don't really need the sound barriers. We're not all that close to the residential. So let's go ahead and connect these up in the correct directions. So we want to go that way. We want to go that way. There we go. Doesn't matter if the highways have a little bit of a turn in them. That's going to connect to there. That's going to connect to there. Fantastic. Now, the problem we've got here is, of course, trying to connect a highway down into a 4-lane road. But we already know that that is doable. So let us just go ahead and bring the highway a little bit closer. That will carry on going in the right direction because there's already... No, it won't. It has actually made it go in the wrong direction. I'm surprised it did that. I would have honestly expected it to have gone back the other way. I was trying to use that as a marker to get the distance right. So it's not snapping to a grid at the moment, which means trying to get that in a straight line is going to be next to impossible. There. No. There. It's about as good as we're going to get. So that's got that connected up. And, yeah, connecting it up to here is going to be interesting. What have we got here? This is a 4-lane road with trees, exactly as we have here. And I think if we just connect that up to the highway, and then we have a... Obviously, we're going to have a junction there. Same as the one we've got down there. It should actually work. And then we're going to bring this road down. We'll connect it onto one side, and there will be... well, let's have that junction. That is odd. Will it let us have one further up? Maybe it's because of the angle there. Okay, let's try something else. A lot of trial and error in order to get this to work. No, that still won't work either. Can we just delete the tiniest little bit of this highway section? We could sort of come out there and then go down that way. It's ugly, I admit. But it should alleviate some of the traffic. Right, that should hopefully solve a lot of the traffic problems. It should definitely solve a lot of the traffic problems. What I also think we're going to do as well is we will get rid of this road now, which was just like a little slip road. And we'll get rid of this, which is a one-way street. And we will build ourselves a... Yeah, a 4-lane road with decorative grass, why not? And if it will fit, we will go from here all the way over to... Where was that junction? Was it here? And what would we be bulldozing? Oh, the existing road. Well, if we go up, and we can actually try and build over it, we'll have a very nice looking bridge if we're clever about this. Might destroy a house or two along the way, but that's fine. So we can actually come over here, past the dump, and then go back down. There we go. It's upset a few people that there's such a major road, but let's unpause, and hopefully that's going to solve a lot of the traffic problems. It better. We've just spent so much time on that. It's been like 15 minutes just trying to solve one junction. The good thing is now there are less traffic lights. Yes, there are a few junctions here, and it is a little bit strange that we're seeing people turning straight around and going back the way that they came. This junction isn't on traffic lights though, which is good. So even though we do have intersections, how many traffic lights do we have? None. There are no traffic lights at all on these junctions. As you can see, we've already got the problem here. We have 3-lane traffic, and all of the traffic is getting in the middle lane. I appreciate that we're going down from 3 lanes to 2, and that there is traffic doubling back on itself to go back the way it came, which is a little bit of a strange thing. And it's causing these. It's actually holding these guys up. It's not holding everybody else up. But again, we've got 2 lanes here, and we're only using a single lane. We've got there's only a couple of cars in this lane. But yeah, the fact that we're only using a single lane here, and the fact that we're only using a single lane here, kind of defeats the purpose of having a highway when all of the traffic is stuck in the wrong lane. So that is definitely something that does need to be sorted out. I mean, like I said, the developers are aware of it, so I'm sure it is something that will come along quite quickly. So what else did I want to try and do? Well, I assume that a lot of the people working over in this area living over in this area, may well be working over in this area in the industry, and there's probably a lot of people who are driving to work. Now, under decorations, there used to be an option for, and there is, we have pavement paths and gravel paths. And what I'd like to do is take one of these paths. Now, they do count as decoration, but I thought if we go from some of the pedestrianised areas in the city, and we may end up knocking down a house or two in doing this, but you can actually have these footpaths as raised roads. So you can actually build them over roads. Well, over buildings anyway. They cross over roads. So we could potentially have footpaths that start near the residential areas. So like this place, for example. This might be a good spot to have one. Let's go ahead and just put this back down to ground level. Connect over here on this junction and build up. It's not going to let me do it without knocking down a building or two. You're going to have to do that manually, which is a little bit of a shame. Let's go ahead and just unzone that one sort of area there. Well, that's a big area. Let's just get rid of those 4 squares if we can. And we'll remove your little building. That should now allow us to put in that pedestrian path. So we're going to start over here. Still won't let us connect that up to the road. Can we not just connect the pedestrian path to a road? Does it just have to start somewhere random? As in not actually to a road? That is, that's strange. I would have thought that at some point it does need to connect to a road. Okay, let's try it this way then. So we'll build the path out through this area. Ah, it has connected itself up there, that's good. We'll raise it up, so that we can go over the buildings that are here. Let's keep going this way. And we will take it over into the industrial area. Well, we need to bring it back down to road level, of course. And, oh, maybe we can just sort of connect it up over here somewhere. May knock out a building or two. What is that? Just a random commercial building, I think. So let's try and connect that up. It's a bit of a derpy connection. But now we actually have a pedestrian path from the residential area that goes over to the industrial area. And that might help things out a little bit. We're still losing population. We haven't grown much at all. We definitely need to consider getting some additional residential areas built, and we're probably going to build on this side of this highway here. We could also increase the building space on this side, which I think we might do. Let's just go ahead and have some of those two-way double lane streets with trees, because they're quite nice. We'll use our sort of freehand curve tool at this point, and we'll try and do some well, we won't head towards the dump. We'll try and keep the roads nice. We do have a little bit of uneven terrain here, so that's going to make things a little bit interesting. Let's curve back towards our pre-existing residential area. We will try and cut a few roads through the middle here, if we can. Yes, it is going to upset a few people because we're going to be demolishing a few houses as we go. It's never stopped us before. Gives us a little bit more room there. Can we get another road coming down here? That's interesting. Is there a service building there that I can't destroy? Probably. Of course, we are creating intersections, of course. I completely appreciate that, but got to have space to build. So let's go. That seems reasonable. We've got a bit more space over here we can utilise. Let's go ahead and do that. Brilliant. Back to my zoning tool. We'll just go for low density residential. We don't have as much call for residential now, but we do want to try and grow the population of our city. And we can always put a little bit of commercial down along here. In fact, I think a really good place to get some commercial in is probably going to be down these little blocks here in the middle. I think that'll be quite nice. We'll see how well the game copes with building on the uneven terrain. We'll make as much of this residential as possible. Now, is this going to be a new district, or is this going to be one of our existing districts? Not an awful lot of good building spaces there because of the way that the road is situated and the ground is uneven. A lot of space on this side. Let's go ahead and fill those in. Yeah, some really strange places that we can build here. Maybe we will have a little bit more commercial down on this side, and that's probably not a bad idea. Let's have a little bit of high density commercial around that side, and we'll have a little bit of low density commercial here, and then all the rest of that can be residential then. There we go. Make sure we have water going to it. There's water going to some of it, but not all of it, so we'll get all of this connected up where we can. The vast majority of it is going to be covered. There's a couple of little dry areas in there. I'm doing lots of overlapping here, and it's not it's suboptimal, because if you've got overlap, you're essentially wasting money building pipes that you don't need, but I'm making plenty of money, so that's fine. We've got all the water connected up. Water availability is fine. Sewage treatment is fine, although water availability is better. What are we doing like on power? We're still generating plenty of power. That's fine. Happy enough with that. Do I want to have that connected up to the main road in any way? Probably later on down the line, but not right now. So I was hoping to try and get the rail line done, but we'll have to do that on the next video because we are out of time. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you are still enjoying City Skylines, and if this video comes out when it is supposed to, then the game will have already been launched by now, so you should be able to go ahead and pick up the game for yourself if it's something that you're interested in. It should be available, and I'll see you guys on the next video. So thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.